This is the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. John Solberg here, your host for the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. And I'm always excited to tell you that this show is being brought to you by The Butcher Shop. Purveyors of highly sought after 100% Australian non-crossbred Wivara 9 Plus briskets that are always handpicked just for you. The Butcher Shop has been retailing the finest meats for more than 15 years, and every week they're shipping out competition quality meats to many of the biggest teams in the competition scene across the nation. Simply put, teams who use the Butcher Shop win, and they win often. You may not be a competitor, but you deserve the finer cuts. The Butcher Shop is shipping some of the finest prime, dry-aged Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings and queens of the cul-de-sac. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock. And again, it's always hand-picked for you. You might be saying, John, that sounds great, but I'd like to try something different. Rest easy. The Butcher Shop can get you something different. You give them a call to see if you can get an elk steak. Maybe you can get some alligator. Maybe you can get some rattlesnake. I don't even know. You're going to have to call them and find out, and I'm going to tell you how to do that in just a moment. Before that, let's review. The best competition briskets, they got those. The best pork selection, they got that. Giving you a better overall option to cook at home, I guarantee they got that. So you give the Butcher Shop a call today, 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. When you mention the BBQ Central Show, you're going to get 10% off your entire order each and every time you call. You can also check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/The Butcher Shop. Shop is spelled S-H-O-P-P-E. The Butcher Shop, home of the 100% Australian non-crossbred Wivara 9 Plus briskets. And today, let's catch up with a guy that was way ahead of his time, still around today, Fred Gross, Mojo Bricks.
But nevertheless, we'll head on over to the hotline, pick up our last guest of the evening, but certainly one of the more interesting ones that I've had on the show recently. It's Fred Gross from Mojo Bricks. Fred, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Well, you got it, Fred. Certainly my pleasure to have you on. Appreciate you making the time out and actually bumping back there for Chris Lilly, talking a little Memphis in May and some TV shows. Fred, have you been watching any of the Best in Smoke, by the way?
Unfortunately, I haven't had the time.
Yeah, good. Well, trust me, you're not missing anything. Anyway, Fred is with a company called Mojo Bricks. So for the people that didn't take advantage of the newsletter that I sent out this afternoon, efforting them to get over to the website to see what we're talking about, give us a little background, about yourself personally, Fred, kind of where you're at business-wise, if you've always been a person that's been into this whole barbecue and grilling thing, and how this whole Mojo Brick thing, what it is and how it comes about.
Well, that's sounds. Let me start from the beginning. I got into the business in '07, doing the dense wood. I'm wondering, can I get a call back? I got an echo in my phone.
Yeah, hold on one second. I'll give you a call right back. My God, the guy can't put together a sentence. What the hell's going on? Just tell me you got an echo. That's all right. We'll pick you right back up. Freaking cell phones, man. We're lobbing a phone call back to Fred Gross from Mojo Bricks. All right, Fred, how is this? You have an echo?
I'm good to go now, I hope.
All right. I was wondering if you had been dipping into Grandma's little cough medicine there prior to us getting you on the phone.
No, we're fine. I can answer your question that you asked before, how I got into barbecue or how I got started in the wood business, and start there.
Yeah.
Back in '07, I heard about wood pellets for the first time. A lot of listeners will know about pellet grills and that sort of thing. That was the first time I'd ever heard of a wood pellet, and started looking into that side of the business, doing some market research, and somewhere around February of 2008, I came across a bigger wood pellet. It's basically a pellet that's not extruded like wood pellets are for grilling, but rather compressed and molded And typically these pellets, we call them bricks, and on our side, they're dense. It's dense wood is what it's called, and they're typically 6 inches long and about 3 inches thick, and they look just like a brick you put in your sidewalk. So got into buying these things and then reselling them back in the spring of '08.
You just kind of fell in love with the whole concept, huh?
Yeah, at the time I was going through some changes in my life. I was in between jobs. I was staying at a friend's house, kind of sleeping on the couch. Didn't have a whole lot of money to my name, and I was looking for change. And that's how I got to the dense wood and got into the pellet business. And the first thing we did was kind of unique. We went and collected raw materials, anything that we could figure out that might make a good barbecue smoking product. We ended up collecting coffee grounds at all the local area coffee restaurants, the Starbucks of the world. I collected about maybe, 3-4 tons of the stuff, placing it in garbage bags and putting it in my car, and then I'd drive it up to a guy who made pellets up in Michigan, and we'd make these coffee pellets. And turned out that the best use for them is making stuff I'm going to forget the name. St. Patrick's Day. What do you cook on St. Patrick's Day? Corned beef.
Yeah, right.
So you smoke corned beef with coffee pellets. That's the best use for them.
That seems completely outlandish, I suppose.
Yeah, and nobody wants to buy coffee pellets, so we moved from coffee pellets to wood pretty quickly. It took us about 8 months to figure out there's no market for coffee pellets, so we ended up with the wood brick and started into the home heating market. We improved upon the packaging that was in the marketplace, started making a 4-pack, and we still have an 8-pack, and picked up some large accounts, started marketing the 4-pack to the Midwesterners. You have to understand that wood bricks, this form of home heating fuel, has been around in one shape or another since the late 1800s. It's been here, it's been in use, it just hasn't become popular until a guy by the name of Tom Angle brought the dense wood brick back from Europe in 2005, and he started manufacturing them in Connecticut, and that's really where America got its start. So the dense wood brick that I currently sell, which is a barbecue brick, which is a wood smoke grilling brick, that hadn't been around until 2005 in America. Now, my barbecue wood is a lot different than what you'd buy to put in your home to heat with.
Yeah, I was just going to say, from what I understand, especially since the wood pellet home stoves to heat your house have been around for quite a while now, that you can use, well, just plain and simple, it's a difference between what you're heating your home with pellet-wise and what you're going to be putting in a cooker to eat with, as far as if it's FDA compliant, if it's safe to cook with. However, you can use what you're going to cook with your food in your heating stove if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. The wood pellet side, I don't recommend you taking home heating wood pellets and running them through your pellet grill. The main difference in the pellet world is you have different sizes of pellets. You have fines in pellets. The quality of pellet, a lot of times if stores, some of the big box stores might leave them out in the yard, they might leave them outside, that's going to affect them in your pellet grill. And people that have pellet grills, they understand that, things break down. The main difference between our pellet, the giant pellet, the Mojo brick pellet, and say a wood pellet is when you use our brick, our Mojo brick, there's no need for electricity. There's no need for any moving parts. You use it like you would firewood or, wood splits or charcoal.
So how big is this wood brick? And if I'm going to, because I'm under the impression that if I got a pallet of the Mojo bricks, I could use it in place of the wood that I'm getting from my local orchard, from the apple orchard or whatever that I'm using in my offset cooker. I could instead substitute Mojo bricks for the wood that I would be buying from an orchard or from some firewood purveyor.
Find out what Fred had to say about replacing your wood over at the BBQCentralShow.com. Link in today's show notes. Take you to the complete episode. Fred Gross was way ahead of his time on that coffee thing. I'm telling you. Had he done, he was way ahead of his time. This was before coffee rub and before cocoa rub and before cigarette ash rub. But if he would do that coffee thing today, I venture to say he might be successful. Again, Fred Gross, go check it out over at the BBQCentralShow.com. By the way, I love to throw Mojo bricks in my gas grill. Do a little cheat on that. Love it. Enjoy them a lot. They're a good product. Thanks so much for listening. And until next time on The Best Moments, I'm your host, John Solberg. Can't wait to talk to you again soon.